If all these stories have you wanting to go on your own adventure and you don't want to spend a ton of money and you don't want to take a ton of time away from work and family, I highly encourage you to check out Lost Travel Company. They do trips all over the country, everything from biking to rafting to kayaking, hiking, etc. And on each trip, there's an official start line and an official finish line, but getting between locations is totally up to you. However you want to do it, however you want to carry your gear, it's a total free-for-all in between. And it is a group trip, but they're very small groups. So you get to know people, but you can also easily practice social distancing. So a lot of the trips are still happening. And like I said, they're very affordable, very easy to get out and go do because they have figured out a lot of the logistics for you, but it still leaves so much room for adventure to happen. And with each trip, they give back 5% of the total trip as a donation to the area where the trip is happening. So if you'd like to find out more, go to lost.travel and use the code ADVENTURESPORTS for 10% off any of the trips listed. This is the Adventure Sports Podcast, where we hear stories of adventure from every corner of the planet. We interview all sorts of folks who are using their sport to explore the world around them and give you the inspiration you need to get out there and have some fun. Hey everybody, hope you're having a great week. This episode is from my other show, Without Compromise. If you don't know, I'm still out on the road. We're doing like a 5-week bike tour across America, and I am been gracious enough to be leading the trip and doing the coordinating, doing a lot of the driving, but I do have a partner, Nick, who is also helping with a lot of that, and he's been great. So we are handling it together, but we have riders that we're supporting all the way across the U.S., so currently coming at you from Nevada, and as you can imagine, it's just a lot of work, and I'm not able to do the interviews like I normally am for this show. So this whole episode is an interview of one of the riders that did a part of the country for us. So I'm going to talk to Julie about just her experience with the ride, kind of some things she's learned in the process leading up to it. 2020 has obviously been crazy, and we planned this trip like 6 months ago, so obviously the plans have all changed and everything, and the plans have even changed while we've been on the trip because we've had incidents happen while we're out here. So you just get kind of a fresh look of the trip from her. But if you don't know, I work for Athletic Brewing during the day, and so this trip is all through them, and we're going from one of our first brewery in Connecticut to our West Coast brewery in San Diego. So we're about 4 or 5 days from the end, so it's getting close. Things are going to be kind of back to normal once I get back home and start producing episodes as normal. So until then, keep having fun, keep getting out there adventuring, and enjoy this perspective from actually being out on the road on an adventure. I get to talk about adventure a lot, but it's kind of funny how rare I actually get to go on one. So I hope you enjoy, and please leave any feedback, send me an email or something, mason@adventuresportspodcast.com. Thanks for listening, by the way, and enjoy. All right, folks, today we're coming at you from Cheyenne, Wyoming with Julie Engler. It's Engler, right? I don't think I've ever said your last name out loud. Okay, cool. Julie, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's awesome to be here.
Yeah, and so you're doing the coast-to-coast ride, and we announced that there were some changes to it due to some people being mean. And also the smoke, lots of wildfire smoke. So how's the last 2 days been? I mean, if you could sum it up.
It's definitely been a challenge to figure out where to go. It's got a lot of open spaces, but not a lot of open spaces with bike paths. And then dodging the smoke is an added challenge. But I think we've done pretty good.
Yeah, we have. We've been able, or you have, honestly, you and your boyfriend, Josh, have been able to really crank out some awesome miles and some beautiful places, but For folks that don't know, you're an ambassador for us. And if you don't mind, I'd love to go kind of all the way back. Cheyenne is not your original home. Where are you originally from? Actually, I know that because I have...
Oh, there's the bottle. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is crazy. I'm from Freeport, Illinois, which is a small town in northwest Illinois. It's about 25,000 people. And I was blown away when Mason found this bottle that he posted about on Instagram. And I was like, there is no way. And there it is. It's so crazy.
Just picking up trash, and there was this bottle, this super old bottle just sticking out of the dirt. Posted a picture of it, and Julie's like, that's my hometown. I'm like, there is no way. It is a small town, like you said. It is meant to be. It's meant to be for you to be out here.
Yeah, that's kind of what I felt. I was like, man, this they're coming my way, and this is a sign that I was supposed to be on this journey. So,
oh man. So how did you end up in Cheyenne from Illinois?
Well, I moved from Northern Illinois to Southern Illinois, where I went down to Southern Illinois University in Carbondale for school.
Okay.
And I graduated there and actually moved back up home for a little bit, and then got a job back in Carbondale, which was cool. I love the area, so I was having a fun time down there. But then I got just kind of wanted to change a pace. I was in journalism, and it's kind of hard to find a journalism job. You kind of have to go to the smaller towns because the bigger newspapers are struggling financially. So I was kind of looking at little places in, all around, and I saw Cheyenne, and I like Fort Collins, and it was close. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to apply. And I got an interview. I came out and got the job, and then I moved out and like a week later.
Had you ever been to Cheyenne before?
Never been to Cheyenne before.
Oh my gosh. I love it. That's kind of what it takes to be out here doing this,
It does. It was an adventure. And
well, when we started putting this trip together, it was like very obvious that you'd had experience in the Rockies and lived so close. So it was like, Julie's got to come do that part. And so I was so happy to have you join. So what made you want to join this crazy coast to coast adventure? What you know what I mean? Was there hesitation? What was the thought process for you?
There definitely was, because I didn't know if I could actually do any of the parts that were, not claimed yet. I think there were like the Nebraska one, the one that I picked, and then like another one that was, I don't even know. I think there might have only been two actually. And I was like, I don't know if I can do that much climbing, but so I kind of sat on it for a few days, and I was like, gosh, if I like say I'm going to do it and then I can't do it, how bad would that be? But I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. And so, I said yes, and we talked about it, and then I just like started training, like,
oh my gosh,
hardcore. Like I really like 4 or 5 days a week, and it was a lot of training. I'm kind of sick of my bike right now, but I like feel like I would have crushed it,
I know. And it's so unfortunate that we had to change it. But even if we hadn't changed it for the first reason, which was the accident, I mean, the smoke here is so bad.
Yeah.
So there's been so many hurdles in this adventure from Mother Nature, honestly, from Mother Nature mostly, of just from wind to storms to hurricanes and tornadoes to now the whole West is just honestly on fire in the last few weeks. And so that's a huge bummer. But like you'd said, it's kind of the year for it to happen. Yeah,
I was like, you know what? And it's, we even didn't have any plans up until like 24 hours before we were riding. So it's been a challenge, but you know what? I think we've done a really good job with what we have. The smoke changes on an hourly basis.
Yep.
And that's really the best you can do.
Yeah. Are you the type of person that typically operates like this, or are you a planner?
I like to have things scheduled. Yeah, so this year has been rough, just in general. But I kind of have it in the back of my mind. Like, I'm just saying, like, okay, well, this is what's planned, but that's probably going to change. So whatever.
It's been hard for folks like you in your position, huh?
It has. This year's been a test. For sure, but
what do you think you've learned in 2020 so far? I mean, it's not over yet, so
it really isn't. Oh man, yeah, I really learned a lot about myself and like the people close to me. Like it's really been You kind of, what's the phrase? When you see like challenge or adversity brings out, true character. Mm-hmm. And it's absolutely true. Like there's some people who just drove me nuts, but then there's, you got your friends who are there with you trying to make it work. We've had a few birthday parties trying to like celebrate, but then we're all social distanced and, just trying to like make the best of the situation, but still keep in touch. And, everyone's just, it's so cool to see everyone support you. Mm-hmm. Like everyone has their own little thing that they're doing. I have a friend who was training for his first marathon that got canceled, and he crushed it. Like,
wow,
he went and ran it by himself.
No way.
Yeah, like,
oh wow,
and just it's one story after another like that. And how can you not be inspired by stuff like that? Just to have the whole world just say no, and then you just say yes.
Wow, no, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah,
the whole world, saying no. And you don't need this huge event planned out and scheduled to say, I'm going to join this marathon on this day. You really can just do it for yourself. And I mean, there's 26 miles of road pretty much anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world. So you can go do that.
Yep.
That's a good reflection. Jeez. And so speaking of impact and speaking of making a difference, you decided to do your segment of this ride for a trail organization. Can you talk about that? Like, who it is and why you decided to do that?
Yeah, I picked Wyoming Pathways. They do a lot of the trails throughout Wyoming. Mm-hmm. I think one of their big projects is one that goes through the Tetons. So they do a lot of like really good work for the state. And one of the cool projects that they just launched is they acquired a bunch of land east of Laramie. And so this new trail project is going to connect the Happy Jack area kind of with the city of Laramie and then kind of throughout this whole like little corner of Wyoming. And we're all just really excited about what it's going to be. And so, yeah, I picked that because they were struggling. Coronavirus really did kind of hurt that project. And I thought, what better way to keep it going than to, put some effort into telling people about it, trying to get some more funding for it. And so far we've got $1,000, which is amazing, way more than I ever thought. And hopefully if we can get some more before the ride's over, and I'm super excited about it.
That's awesome. So have we ridden any of their paths on this ride or no?
No, it's very, you can hike and mountain bike, but it's not really kind of like something you'd want to take a cross bike on.
Yeah.
You'd probably have a hard time, but I guess you could if you were really skilled, but I am definitely not. So.
You're not. Well, you can ride really far. We've learned that in the last 2 days.
Yeah, I can go straight in one direction.
And then turn around and come back.
Exactly, yeah.
No, that's really incredible. So, there were so many things with this trip that were like, let's try this. What if we do this? And so it was 2 for the Trails is our program with the brewery. And we just wanted to kind of extend that. But originally we thought it was a weird connection because the trip was all on road, which is, technically not a trail. And so when it jumped to more gravel based, it was really cool that you had already had this in place. And yeah, like you said, almost like pretty quickly raised $1,000.
Yeah.
Which is for trail building goes a long way. That's really so. Were you kind of surprised by the support?
Yeah, I honestly was like really overwhelmed by it. I'm still kind of overwhelmed by it. I don't really know what to say. It's awesome. It's so cool to see people supporting, these areas because it is ours. It's our state, it's our land, it's our country, and these allow us to get out there and enjoy it because you can't go everywhere. The wilderness is a little rugged out here. So having a nice trail to go through it just makes it so much better.
It is your way to experience it. Without that, you really can't, safely, most people can't get out there.
Yeah.
So it does make it more accessible for more people. That is incredible. And so, yeah, well, I know we're all proud at Athletic Brewing for you just taking that on yourself, connecting with, news outlets out here and getting the word, out there and spreading the message and helping make the outdoors more accessible. We've learned how important that is just on this trip, just because so many things get in your way. There just ends up not being that many options out there where there should be. So yeah, so we mentioned this a little bit earlier in the show. What's the last 2 days been like? Have you been satisfied with the miles? With you did a really crazy adventure yesterday. Talk about that.
Yeah, we did. So we decided to do 100 miles on the Cheyenne Greenway, which is, it's a pedestrian path, so it's not like specifically for bikes or anything. But we were actually surprised with how extensive it was throughout Cheyenne. There were a lot of places I have never been to before in my own town, which was kind of crazy. But it was 5 laps, this route that we picked out, and it was a little slow. We had to dodge people and kids and some traffic because there's not a perfect loop connection. But I think that was the first time anyone's ever done 100 miles on the Greenway. So it was a record setter, I guess.
Yeah. What did you get? What was the award level that you got on Strava?
Oh yeah, the local legend. I think I got like 2 local legends, 2 Queen of the Mountains. I think that was it. But
that was
like,
it.
Wow.
Huh? That's it. That's pretty awesome.
It was really funny. And yeah, 2,000, we did not know that we were climbing 2,200 feet. And we were just like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, in the town of Cheyenne, climbing mountains over here. First ever Cheyenne Greenway.
Cheyenne Greenway Century 2020.
It's going to have to be an annual thing.
We were talking about that, making it like just a fun thing to do with friends every year. We'll see if it catches on.
That's too cool. So what about today? What was today like? What did we do?
Today we went out to the Medicine Bow Rail Trail. It's out in the Medicine Bow Mountains, west of Laramie. I guess west, south, a little south too. And it's a rail trail that it's pretty new. And we'd been talking about going out there for a while, but it's 20 miles from end to end, and really cool. You just so many animals, and we saw so many moose and deer and little squirrels, and it was really cool. Very, very wild area.
We didn't have service out there.
Yeah, we did not.
And not gonna lie, it was pretty awesome. Just to not have an excuse, to have that like a real excuse, like, hey, I'm just gonna go ride with y'all, or we're gonna go for a hike. Like Nick went into the woods and read a book. I went on a little walk, and it was like, yeah, we can't do anything else because we're here to be with y'all and support y'all, and we don't have service. So thanks for taking us out there.
Yeah, no, that was nice. It was like 8 hours of not getting a notification that I got a work email.
Yeah.
It was really nice.
Gosh, we need that every once in a while.
Oh, yeah. But at the same time, it wasn't, too remote. So you didn't feel like worried about it.
Yep. That's a good way to put it.
So there's, I'm not really an outdoorsy adventure person. So that kind of stuff scares me. Just being in a place where there's nothing, it's kind of, I'm not used to that. People who grew up here are probably more used to it than I am, but I think that still gets me. Like, even being here for like 9 years, it's still like you can drive 30 miles and there's absolutely nothing but like cows. Like, that's it. It's so kind of terrifying.
Does that freak you out?
It does. Yeah, it totally freaks me out.
Oh man, that's interesting. What about it? Just if something happens, there's nothing.
Yeah.
Oh.
You're just like, what would I do if I got a flat tire? Or
yeah.
I don't know.
So where you grew up was not like that then?
No, you'd get a town like every 10, 15 miles.
Okay.
Like the country was the country, but it was, lots of farmhouses and, rolling hills and cornfields and just lots of little towns like here and there. You drive 5 miles this way and there was a town. You drive 5 miles that way, there was a town, it's definitely not like here where I think there's like 100, 200 miles between towns sometimes, or there's a town and it's like one house.
or a closed gas station or something.
Yeah. It's crazy. Way different, but also that's the, the appeal. That's the Wyoming appeal, is that there's space for you,
Wyoming is, the least populated state, and it's huge. So
huge.
There's a lot of space. It was not a state that was originally on the plan to hit on this trip. And honestly, we've hit like 4 or 5 states that weren't planned just because that's where there are long trails. And I'm not going to lie, I'm really been happy with these detours. Medicine Bow, I've never been there. Actually, I've been there once, but not much, just like right over the Colorado border. But seeing it today from that trail was just incredible. So,
oh yeah, it's gorgeous out there.
Thanks for taking us out there.
Absolutely.
So tomorrow we're finishing up. And what are we doing tomorrow? What was the plan?
Well, we were hoping to go to Fort Collins, but, like I said, the smoke and pollution and all that stuff changes daily. It's a little scary to think about riding when it's hard to breathe. So we're just kind of we're hoping to go there, but, if we have to change it again, I guess we'll know tomorrow morning. So, just hope for the best and be ready to go somewhere else if we have to. I think, if we have to ride around the Greenway again, we're going to do it. So. All
right. Hey, I love the dedication.
We're doing it.
Is that not, that you have this this is just so not your MO, is it, most of the time?
No, absolutely not.
I can see it in your eyes.
I don't know. It's at some point you're just like, it's just kind of fun. That it's just like so off point that you're just like, whatever.
Yeah.
let's do it. We're doing it. You know what I mean? Like, you just got to make the best of it.
Absolutely.
You could be in a much, much worse situation. And so just being here, riding, sharing athletic with the Cheyenne community is like way more than I could have ever hoped for even, like you guys weren't even supposed to come here, but it's so cool to have you here. So, if we end up staying here another day, that's cool.
Yeah.
So
for folks that don't know, when Julie's out riding, we're at the van passing out beers to people, and we've been just doing some trail, just pick up trash and stuff. And there isn't much, honestly. It's a pretty clean town. But we'll pass out beers and just connect with people as we go and just, get folks interested in what we're doing and for the trails. And we're parking at all these trailheads. So it's been a great adjustment and a great, detour from what we originally had planned. And it's all for the better. And that's really what I've learned on this trip is you got to rolling with the punches, just honestly usually ends up leading to a cooler place anyway. It's not easy pill to swallow all the time.
No, just roll with it.
You're going to come out of this whole year a total new person, aren't you?
I already do feel like a new person. Just the amount of dedicated training that I'd done, I would have never imagined. I started, and I didn't specifically start training for this, but I started my training plan in December.
Okay.
So I've been pushing since then. I've hit roadblocks with that and had to almost kind of totally restart, illness, injury, it's just how life goes. And you start to realize that it's never going to be perfect. You can make all these plans and then they're just going to get totally messed up and you're going to have to do something different anyway. So it's okay, and I think having gone through that pretty much all year, that's, now it's what happens tomorrow, who knows, but something's going to happen and it's going to be fun. So
yeah. Hey, there you go. So how do you think you're going to make plans differently moving forward? Because, we're still trying to make a plan. I don't know.
I don't think I'm going to do anything different, honestly. I think I'm just going to keep trying to make plans and, hope
just
for the best.
Just with that asterisk of hey, this could all just totally fall apart and that's okay.
Pretty much, yeah.
I think a lot of people are learning that this year. And a lot of the riders on this trip, I'm not throwing anybody under the bus for anyone listening, but a lot of them have admitted that they're a lot like super type A, really like things planned out. And then I would have never known it on the trip because they were so ready to just do whatever. And it was really cool to hear from their family when we got in, they've been a totally different person on this trip because they're usually da 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 da, but now they're just kind of rolling with it. I'm I would have never known. It's really cool to see. I wonder why it's bringing this out in people.
I think probably just because we're just so excited to do something after all. You know what I mean? It's okay, well, we didn't do what we were planning, but at least we're still doing something, right? That's cool.
There you go. I'll just bike up and down this road 5 times.
I'm happy with that.
That's awesome. So what, anything planned for you moving forward after this adventure, and anything you have on your horizon that you're looking forward to?
Really looking forward to like taking a break from riding for a little bit, just because it's been very like mentally and physically taxing. I mean, it's been really good. I've made a lot of like strength gains and like just improved my skills and all that stuff. So it's been really awesome to see the changes. But at the same time, I think I just need a little rest. So probably take like a month or so off. And I'm hoping that, you know, I can start training for something next year again in like December-ish. So
what, do you have any other hobbies you like to do besides biking?
I am a big gamer. So I play computer games a lot.
Okay.
Usually that's if I'm not like at the gym or riding my bike, I'm down in the basement playing computer games. So that's another big hobby of mine. And I like being outside. So like gardening, walking the dogs, stuff like that. Anything I can really do outside.
You like to cook too.
I do love to cook.
You cooked us a meal the first night we got into town, which was, not going to lie, one of my favorite memories from the trip so far was just going and having a meal at someone's house. It had been so long since that had happened. It was really nice.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I'm like, man, you guys have been on the road for like 6 weeks. Like, would you like a home-cooked meal?
Oh, my gosh. That was so nice of you. So thank you.
Absolutely. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah, big plans moving forward is just taking a break, maybe looking at December, no more biking. Sorry to make you bike so much. Get ready for this.
I love it. It's okay. No, I teach a sprint at the gym too. It's a cycling class.
I didn't know you taught that.
Yeah. So I still will be doing that. Still riding, but yeah, just the intense training and that like really scheduled thing is it's different. I've never done anything like that before in my life. So just having that every single day, week, every single day, every month, like to think about and, like to plan for was, So,
well, I'm really proud of you, and I'm glad that you were able to put it to use, not in the same way, but, like you said, the opportunities that have arisen from this change, I think are going to just be just as good, if not better in the long run. And if things stuck to plan all the time. So, maybe we'll have to go do that route at some point.
I really do want to, or at least something similar, like I definitely want to try it. But I mean, the gains are still real. Like I definitely put in the work and made a lot of improvements, and like I wouldn't trade that for anything. So,
awesome to hear. Well, I appreciate you jumping on when we asked and just being so committed to it. That's what we look for here at Athletic. That's what it takes, to do just about everything we do, from brewing the beer to doing adventures like this. But usually at the end of all these episodes, we ask some rapid fire questions.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah, actually, you can answer in like a sentence or two. It doesn't have to be one word, but I'll try to remember the top ones I usually ask, because I usually have them up in front of me because I'm at home recording and got all my screens. But first one I usually ask is, what is your favorite peak or success? Maybe from an athletic point of view or personal point of view, and it can be, I know that's really vague, but it can be in the last year maybe.
I think getting certified and doing the training and becoming the sprint instructor, that was something I'd sat on for like 2 years. And I was like, I don't know if this is too long, isn't it?
Oh, no, that's fine.
Oh, okay. It's rapid fire.
I just made the rules up.
Gotcha. Okay.
We can change them like that.
Cool. Okay. So it was something I had been, sitting on and wanting to do for like 2 years. And I was like, I'm doing it. And I signed up and I did it. And you have to do this like video to, become certified. They have to like watch you teach. And like even just teaching was out of my comfort zone. So I was like, all right, but I passed and now I teach at the gym. And like, that was just like the biggest confidence booster I could have, given myself. So that was just like, I think that's one of my proudest accomplishments.
Do you enjoy it?
I love it.
Yeah?
I love it so much. I love seeing like people's faces when they are like done, but then they do it again. And like, it's so cool. It's so cool to see people push themselves.
When's your next class?
This Saturday.
This Saturday.
Yep.
Holy cow. You got a couple days rest. And you got to get right back
rough.
on it.
Yeah.
Going to be telling them stories of all week what happened.
Yeah, I'm going to be a little tired, but that's okay.
That's really cool. So I think we touched on this a little bit, and honestly, what you answered was a really cool answer. But any unique hobbies that you have that you don't share a lot with folks? I know gaming was one.
I really like to collect cactus and succulents.
Do you?
Yeah,
okay.
That's kind of unique. I guess I don't really share it with a lot of people, but I do have a little collection at my house, and they're really fun.
They're alive.
They are alive.
Okay.
I have this jade tree that's like, I got it from my friend's grandpa, and it's like over 80 years old or something. So it's pretty cool.
Oh, that is awesome. I don't know. Anything health-wise you do, like on a daily basis, anything you do to take care of yourself?
I really do just try to eat a lot of healthy food and then sleep. Like, I'm a big sleep person. I don't know how people don't sleep. That's got to be rough for some people. But like, I'm just like, I'll go to bed at 8 on a Friday. I don't care. I'm tired,
Wow.
like.
Hey, that's
You gotta do what you gotta
awesome.
do.
Yeah. Well, then that's a huge health tip that people overlook is the recovery of sleep. Shoot, you can have an athletic. That's another thing about athletic. It doesn't affect your sleep.
My sleep has improved so much since I stopped drinking.
Oh, really?
That's why I love the beer because, alcohol just would, like, I just always wake up in the middle of the night at like 3.
If you drink.
Yeah.
Interesting, yeah.
And it was awful.
I definitely don't get quality sleep. I usually don't feel well anyway when I go to sleep after drinking, no matter how much it is.
Exactly, yeah. It's just,
one or
just
two beers
one.
and I just don't feel great.
Yeah.
And going to sleep, you don't feel great. And you can feel it that next morning big time. All right. So to wrap it all up, what does it mean to you to live without compromise?
I think it just kind of means like what we're doing here is just living each day to its fullest. And it's all about the people you're with. It's all about, the fun you're having. And, sometimes it is hard work, but that allows you to do more and go farther. So, there's definitely no compromising on any of the fun. There's no compromising on any of the good company that you have, no compromise on good food. You should always like, make the things in your life the best that they can be. So.
We had a conversation about that, about the food today, and I couldn't agree more. Why not make food the best it can be every day?
Heck yeah.
Awesome. Well, Julie, thanks for joining today or tonight. I know you got to get going to bed soon. But thanks for being on the show, and thanks for joining the trip. It's been a pleasure having you. I can't wait to see what the last day brings for us.
It's going to be an adventure.
That's guaranteed. All right.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. First of all, thank you so much for listening. It means the world to us that you choose to listen to this show. If you'd like to help us further, you can leave a review on iTunes, share us with your friends, your family. It goes a long way to growing the show. You can also support us financially through patreon.com/adventuresportspodcast. Link is in the show notes. And also, if you have an idea of who could be a good guest for the show, we're always looking for people to tell their story about the outdoors or adventure. So if you know someone, please reach out. Email us at info@adventuresportspodcast.com. And until then, get out there and have some fun.